All right, I'd like to welcome everyone inside Sunset Lanes for the 2022 NDBowling.com Classic. I'm Darren Sini alongside Ken Fletcher. We are currently finishing up the position round. We got about 3 or 4 matches left to go, I think, between positions 1 through, what would you say, Ken, 7 or 8, or really close?
It's super tight right now, 1 through 7. Couple of matches are already finished up. I think we have a lock on who our number 1 seed is going to be, and at least one more person who will likely be in our top 5. But beyond that, it's anybody's guess right now.
Right, and once we know the final 5, we will announce those to you. Again, if you're just joining us, let us know how everything looks, how everything sounds. That would be greatly appreciated. And then we will be underway with our stepladder finals. Let's give you a little bonus coverage here of our, what is this, the 4-5 matchup?
5-6 right here on 11 and 12 with
yep.
Brady just throwing his second shot. That would pretty much secure Brady, I think, with shooting looks like 2-0 to beat Chad Nelson. It's going to be, I said, it's going to be very tight all the way around. There's a lot of possibilities yet. You can see John Breckel to our right, who I believe with a mark, yep, John should be in, but our seeding, I think, outside of our number 1 seed, Dale Newton, who just shot 266 in the position round. We have no idea yet.
Yeah, everything is super close. This is probably one of the more intense position rounds I've seen at this tournament, or any tournament in a long time, with how close everyone was going in. And a missed 10 pin by John Breckel in the 10th.
Well, that's still a win,
He
though.
did win at 187. That should be okay to get him in. It's just a matter of what number he'll be. Again, this is position round. We are finishing up. And once we finish here, I think it's just couple matches here left to go.
So it comes down to, well, now that I don't have to say that, I was about to say it's coming down to Chad Nelson, who just threw his 4th split of the game, and Clayton Moore, who is to our right, who is waiting to throw his 10th frame, and it appears to be that Clayton should, I believe, lock up his spot. But we'll do some math and we'll figure this out here soon.
Yeah, and once again, once we know the final 5, we will let you know. That'll do it for our match in front of us here. So we'll bring you back into the booth. And once again, I'm Darren Sini alongside Ken Fletcher. We both bowled this tournament yesterday. Let's kind of go over what happened in qualifying. We're bowling on the Kegel's Winding Road V2 pattern. So it's an updated version of the Winding Road. It's a 39-foot pattern, 3-3 or so to 1, so it's a playable pattern, but it played extremely short on these lanes here at Sunset Lanes, and a little bit lower volume. It's a 39-foot pattern, so it's kind of what you expect. Yep. But once the oil did kind of carry down later in the qualifying block, they still remain playable for a lot of the players. And what did you see yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You could hit from right early. I bowled with Brian Deedy, who's going to have a top 10 finish and bowl his best today, but he started out throwing it right up the boards with urethane early and hooked the entire lane at the end of the day, and I believe was our 2nd qualifier. And I mean, you could get there a variety of ways. Lots of hook early, so a lot of variety of bowlers. What do we have? 3 lefties here today. So, I mean, the left played very well.
3 lefties, 4 if you count, because Alex Rath is a righty, but he throws back up all on the left side. So,
yep.
If we're talking about traffic.
Yeah, so, I mean, there are lots of ways to get there. High rev guys, Ryan Krabenhoff, is a 2-hander.
Clayton Moore.
2-finger bowler, I guess you say. Clayton Moore, who was just finishing up here to our right. Very high rev rate, so lots of bowlers, lots of different ways to get there. And, surprisingly, pattern held up very well. I mean, it definitely hooked. Excuse me. It definitely hooked, more than, you see a lot of our tournament patterns around the area, but, it always holds up really well out here, and no exception yesterday. So, it's going to be a good 5. I'm going to look at my scores here real quick. It's it's about as close as you would expect. So, appears Dale Newton, I mean, by my math, now these are nothing official yet, but Dale Newton's going to be our number 1 seed. John Breckel did enough to maintain the number 2 seed. After that, it is 16 pins between our 3, 4, and 5 seeds. It looks like Clayton is going to stay in the 5 seed, or the 3 seed, excuse me. And then our 4-5 matchup. No, I take that back. Nope. Looking at my math wrong already. Looking at the 1. Not looking at the 1. Clayton, I believe, will be our 3. Jeremiah Smith will be our 4.
Okay.
And Brady Stearns, I believe, will be our 5.
Okay.
So
let's recap that. This is what we currently have. Now, this is unofficial. We will move those around if, in fact, these are different, but this is kind of based off of our numbers. Here are our final 5 for the season's final major here at the NDBowling.com Classic. A matchup between the last 2 KFYR TV Bowling Classic champions in the first match.
Yep.
And we're going to have a brand new NDBowling.com Classic winner. None of these guys have ever won this tournament, so.
No, but again, faces we've seen before. I believe all 5 have been on our show.
John Breckel, I don't know if he's made the show here, has he?
I know he's been very close. And I mean, to most bowlers in the area, John's a name that, is very well known, very consistent bowler.
And I would like to mention that with that finish, John Breckel has locked up NDBowling.com Player of the Year honors by quite a considerable margin. He's going to get some of the top points here today, and he had the lead coming into it. So a great season for John Breckel. He made the cut at all 5 big tournaments. He started off in Minot making the cut there. He made the cut at the KFYR. He made the cut in Aberdeen. He made the cut in Manitoba. And he's now on the show here. So what a great season for him, and congratulations to John.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shows what consistency does. Nobody has been better across all of the big tournaments than John this year, and good for him to get a shot at a first major title here. So,
absolutely. And once again, we are just compiling scores at this time. That'll give us a brief moment to remind everyone to stay connected to NDBowling.com. Please hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button on your YouTube player. That would be greatly appreciated and would help us out quite a bit. Also, a huge thank you to Hammer, the official bowling ball sponsor of NDBowlTV. Once again, you're watching NDBowlTV, the High Plains Bowling Network, giving you live coverage of the NDBowling.com Classic here at Sunset Lanes in Moorhead. Once we have the final scores confirmed, we will get started with our first match in what we believe is a match between Jeremiah Smith and Brady Stearns. And they appear to think that's the case as well, as both of those bowlers are waiting here on 11 and 12.
Yeah, all the bowlers do the math just as quick as we do back here, so usually they know before we do.
So looking at this, we have 2-time major winner Brady Stearns at the 5. We have Jeremiah Smith, who's won a major at the KFYR last season, and then Clayton Moore won the shootout back in, I think it was 15 or so, 2015, something like that. And then the 2 guys at the top,
who are no stranger to this, but, have not been in that position to win a major as of yet. So it's going to be an interesting 5. And, having Chad Nelson on this pair 2 games in a row, we got a pretty good look from him and, some good comments. He's pretty adamant Brady's going to run over the field. He's not been real happy with how he's thrown it today. And the fact that he was able to sneak in the field as the 5 and having a game on this pair just prior, that's I think that's a huge advantage for him.
It is, and this pattern has been doing some weird things here later in the day. We were seeing a lot of early hook in that position round. Who knows what's going to happen?
As is always, you just never know until you actually bowl. But, it's been a challenging pair in the past. You can shoot some scores on it, but like you said, there's been a lot of early hook with a lot of urethane going down the lane today. And we'll see what happens. Said Brady is more than likely going to be throwing urethane as he has done for a majority of the day today.
Yeah, he's a great urethane player. I mean, you can't blame him.
No, it was kind of expected. I think we both figured he would be right up there today, and maybe his game not quite as sharp, being in the 5 seed, but just shows how good he really is.
All right, we would like to thank everyone who's popped into the chat room and let us know everything looks and sounds good. We do appreciate that. Once again, we're just waiting on the confirmation of the final 5 scores. We have our own calculations, but again, that is not official. And we're just waiting for the staff here at Sunset Lanes to confirm the finals. And then we'll be underway in what we believe is a Brady Stearns Jeremiah Smith opening match. And while we're at it, while we have a moment, let's look at what we're playing for. Based on the prize fund, I see an $1,800 top prize and then $1,000 for second, all the way down to $475 for fifth. So it's a little top heavy, but still a good prize fund. I think you and I calculated out they're only taking about $40 a player for lineage, and that's over about $120 for the prize fund, which is really good.
Yeah, no, I give all credit to Sunset. They run a really good tournament every year, and only that kind of lineage coming out, that's almost unheard of in our industry. So great prize fund for, what did we have, 67 bowlers yesterday?
Yep, 67 bowlers we had some from Canada, some from Wisconsin, some from Minnesota, and we would like to mention defending champion Nick Heilman is currently not here. He did make the cut, but he had to go to the hospital for a little something. I think he said he got bit at work by a dog, so it got infected, and so he had to go to the hospital, and so he was not here today. So we do wish him well if he's watching, or if he watches this down the road. Hopefully everything turns out well for him.
Yep, absolutely.
But unfortunately, he's not here to defend his title, and we are going to give away the Glenn Haynes Memorial Trophy to the winner. So still just waiting on the scores, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot to go over there. They've been using I don't believe it's a new tournament scoring system, but they don't get a ton of work out of it, and they're just kind of getting the kinks, if you will.
Well, there you go, Ken. Mike Harris tells us if Brady runs a ladder, you have to cut your hair. Are you going to take that bet?
Sorry, I'm not taking that bet because I would not be shocked if Brady did that, and I don't want to cut my hair either, Mike. Thanks for asking.
I'll take that bet.
Yes, Darren can cut his hair if Brady runs the ladder. How about that?
Yeah, I'll take that bet. I'm bald anyways. So yes, if everyone's wondering, I know if you saw the qualifying scores, and defending champion Nick Heilman was in there, but he is not here today. So the alternate did go in, which was Dustin Harold.
And Dustin bowled very well throughout a lot of the day, too. So.
Yep, and what was the cut yesterday? 8 over?
I believe 8 over, yeah. A little surprising that it was as low as it was, considering, scores started off really well. But, with urethane in play and, yes, Matt Urethane was in play today, very much so. Brady will likely be throwing it, but, with a lot of urethane yesterday, it made for some interesting reactions late in the day, and, a lot of people just, ourselves included, just couldn't find a good reaction late in the day. All the oil pushed down the way that urethane does, it makes for it to be difficult at times, and
Yep.
brought the scoring pace down. But I mean, as we always say, right around even. You want to keep it right in that area, and 8 over. That's
what we did.
Pretty much perfect. So.
And Alan had a question there watching from North Carolina. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
How many games were bowled to get to the final? Well, we bowled 8 games of qualifying yesterday. We cut to the top 18. Everyone was kind of in one big group, and we just bowled 8 games of match play, with the 9th game would be the position round. So a total of 17 games to get here to our finals, and now, potential to bowl 21 games to win the title if you win them all. So here's the announcement for our final 5. Okay, Brady is the 5. Jeremiah Smith is the 4. Okay, so what we have is correct.
Yep.
Yes, so this is officially the final 5. Dale Newton will be bowling for his first career NDBowling.com Major Championship here at the NDBowling.com Classic. NDBowling.com Player of the Year for this season. John Breckel is the 2. Then Clayton Moore the 3, Jeremiah Smith, and then defending KFYR champion Brady Stearns comes in at the 5. So, like always, we're going to go into our chat room and we're going to make a poll. Who will win? Okay, we're going to start with our top seed. All right, so there will be a poll popping up in the chat room, so if you're joining us, Sig, head on over there. Okay, we're going to put the poll up there, go over to the chat room and vote once that shows up. And again, we're going to start with Brady Stearns versus Jeremiah Smith. They'll get 2 shots on each lane to start, and then we'll be underway.
Yep, going to be very interesting with, like I said, position round, both Chad and Brady using urethane. And Chad on the pair right before using urethane. There's been a lot of urethane going down the lanes the last, 3 games or so right here. So it's going to make for some interesting ball reactions, to say the least.
Okay, let's go here. We're going to do a little bit of advertising on the side here. All right, I do show we're dropping a few frames, but it shouldn't be too bad, so guys will hang in there. We're all at the mercy of the internet connection here. Again, we're in our first match. Jeremiah Smith against Brady Stearns. Once they get their 2 shots in each lane, we'll be underway.
Can see both guys are being smart, testing out different areas of the lane right now.
And again, we mentioned earlier in our show here that this is a very tricky pair right now. A lot of early hook from the urethane that was going down the lane earlier in the day, and people are having a hard time getting the ball through the fronts, and then when you do, having enough shape to carry the corners. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it is a distinct advantage for Brady, though, having Bolt on here, and if he can get a look with urethane, that's something that none of the other guys are going to be doing. So we'll see what happens, but
and right now the scoring system kind of shows how many practice shots they have left, and then the practice shots ran out when they actually still had a few, so that's kind of what's going on now.
Yeah, I think they both still have 1 each on the, or do they still have 2 each? I believe,
yeah, they just switched lanes, so. Yeah, it looks like pretty even on our poll here. 26% all the way down and 22% to the Smith-Stearns winner. So we have fans of everyone in the chat room today. So we do appreciate you taking part in our poll. Okay, while we have a second, let's look at our live count of our subscriptions on YouTube. We've got 1420. So if you haven't already, head on over and hit that subscribe button. We do appreciate that. We're trying to get to 2,000 is our next milestone. And we should be underway here. Jeremiah Smith against Brady Stearns. Opening match of the 2022 NDBowling.com Classic here on NDBowlTV. Smith will get us started on lane 11.
Yeah, very adamant, but right away I'm going to start. So should be a really good matchup. See what kind of looks these guys have and what they're going to do. It looks like Jeremiah is going to stay right.
And Jeremiah did make the show up in Manitoba earlier this year, so a decent season for him as well. He was busy earlier in the year. Good shot there to start.
Yeah, nice opening shot. I think right now the key is just going to be find a consistent reaction, just try and stay clean. The way this pair has looked the last couple of games, a 2-0 is going to be a really good score right now. And, both of these bowlers, they're as consistent as they come. Jeremiah, I would say, one of the better spare shooters that you see around here. So this
one's on you. If he doesn't pick this, that's on you, buddy. Okay,
yep,
thank you.
Spare.
I'm like, don't talk about his spare shooting until he actually picks it up. Man. Haven't you learned anything doing these shows over the years?
You would think so, but, I still say it.
Again, both of these players, no strangers to the finals. Jeremiah Smith ran the ladder at the KFYR TV Bowling Classic last season. And then Brady Stearns won in Minot and also won at the KFYR here about 3 weeks ago. So he's looking to win his second consecutive NDBowling.com major title, but he's going to have to run the ladder to do it.
Yep, and playing a little bit more hook with the urethane than he was earlier.
Okay, fortunate to get the 7 out.
And if he stays there and gets through this match, I could see that creating some issues for other people. Because he's typically been, 10 board and right for a majority of the day, and playing it that far left, that could be some fun later down the road. But good spare.
And one thing I would like to note for our show is the one guy that's been able to play right with reactive all weekend has been John Breckel.
Yep.
And if he can find that float through the front part of the lane, and that it's going to be interesting on 11 and 12 because there's a lot of early hook on this pair. But if he can find that float through the front part of the lane and still have the reactive shape down lane to get the corners out, I give it the advantage to John at the moment. It's hard to say. There's a lot of variables that come into play, but
yep, he's looked really good all day long. Like you said, staying right with reactive is about the only guy that can do that, and if he can,
And Nick Heilman, thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the chat, Nick Heilman.
I hope you're doing all right, my friend.
But yeah, we'll see what kind of look John can get after a couple games of stepladder on this pair, and it's going to be a good stepladder one way or another. Somebody's going to come away with their first NDBowling.com Classic title, and should be good matches all the way around with how well these 5 have bowled. Careful.
Spare and leaves the 5. So
there's that little bit of early hook. You could kind of see it right away, and
yeah, early hook on the lane, and then with the urethane ball that wants to do that.
So let's see if Jeremiah can take advantage.
Again, the winner of this match will take on Clayton Moore in our quarterfinal match. John Breckel, the 2, and Dale Newton awaiting in the wings in the championship match. Currently on the phone. Nice casual talk over here as a number 1 seed. Looks left, he'll push. I like there's some shim down lane for him, There's the oil in the middle part of the lane that works out well.
And Jeremiah is soft enough at the bottom where I don't think he's ever going to get a lot of the early hook from it. It's whether or not he gets enough down lane to get the corners out, which right there he did. So
is that a high road pearl, or is that it's a storm ball, purple, teal lettering. I know a Roto-Grip ball has the same color palette.
It's hard to see from my eyes when they're all that dark, though.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just not as familiar with their stuff.
And I would say fortunate just to leave the 2-7 right there. You can see just maybe a little bit right, and it just doesn't have enough to make it. But not the most difficult of splits right here.
And again, the poll is still live. We'll keep it live through the end of this match. You can go vote in the chat room. It should just pop up in the chat to the right of the player there. Pick who you think will win. We have 30% of the votes towards Dale Newton at the moment, 22% John Breckel, 22% Clayton Moore, and then 26% the winner of this match.
Hook. All right.
Fortunate to get the 7 there.
Good spare.
I will say Clayton Moore did talk to us during that position round match, and he's been playing left with pearls all weekend, and he's having a hard time getting the ball to shape enough to get the corners out, and he did have, 180 in the position round match on the pair to the right, so we'll see what he's got going on our featured pair here, and if he'll be able to create the right shape. That's been the problem all weekend for a lot of players.
Yep,
Again,
and
just
there's
early
a
hook.
There's a right move from Brady with, I believe, a different ball, and yeah, just that's all the urethane going down the lanes right there, I think. But, you know, right now leaving yourself makeable spares. I mean, yeah, you do have to pick them up, and I'd probably jinx us pretty early, but
Again, I quit doing that a long time ago. Careful.
Yep, should be good. Yep.
That spare always gets me. There's so many different ways to chop that spare and send the 6 around either one if you go too far left or right, and
you know how easily you can chop the 9 off of that.
So do you have the final sheet there? Yeah, that
final sheet from today, yes.
we're just going to note that just missing out on the show by 22 pins was Josh Craig in 6th, Chad Nelson in 7th, Eric Parby in 8th, Earl Sobakevich, or Earl from Canada as we like to call him,
Yes.
in 9th, Mike Morris in 10th, 3-time winner here at the Classic, Dustin Harold, the alternate, in 11th. Very good shot there for Brady.
Yeah, looked like a little bit back left.
Brian Deedy finishes in 12th. He is a new member of the South Dakota Bowling Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's been inducted yet or if that's happened, but we got news of that last week in Aberdeen. Ryan Engel in 13th, Adam Peters in 14th, Ryan Krabanoff Country in 15th, Alex Rath in 16th, Jeff Holsworth in 17th, and Chris Charles will round us out in 18th. So those are your qualifiers this weekend. Good bowling by everyone, and I do appreciate everyone coming out and bowling this weekend. And we'll mention that next year that tournament is being held, I believe it's March 4th and 5th, 2023 here at Sunset Lane. So mark your calendars for next season's NDBowling.com Classic. And we are now up in frame number 4 for Jeremiah Smith, working on a spare.
All right, nice. Kicked 7 out there. Little unsure. Looked like he it might have been a slight parallel left, and it's still just barely making the corner.
Well, that kind of shape, though, will keep you out of trouble. That's one thing that I will give where Jeremiah is playing is his misses should generally keep him out of trouble. So
no, absolutely, and I mean that's his game. I mean, we should say he did have, I believe, the high game yesterday had 298 in
the very last game.
Was it game 8 and 2 lead qualifying. So, I mean, he's very well capable of shooting the big scores, but, I mean, it's somebody you look at, you know, he's going to shoot 2-0, 2-teen, and just be really
And that's what he did at the K-Fire last year.
Oh, that's not great, but
again,
you take the break right there.
Last season at the KFYR, Jeremiah Smith ran the ladder shooting 2-0s and 2-teens the whole time, and that was good enough, you know?
Yep, and that could very well work again today, but, I mean, so do you keep the ball in play, you give yourself makeable spares, and, you know, I would take two, like I said, I would take 2-0
all day long.
The way this pair looks right now, 2-0 all day.
So an early double there for Smith. Stearns now up in the 5th, looking to match him with his first double of the match.
Solid ball last time. See what he's going to do. He's been fiddling between 2 urethanes. Look like he's back to the other one, and
a little further left. But again, how are you going to get the 10 out from there with the urethane, you know?
Yeah, and you can see him shaking his head and talking to himself, and I think that's exactly the worry of getting this far left with urethane.
And again, Brady Stearns took out Randy Peterson in the final of the KFYR TV Bowling Classic about 3 weeks ago. He was the top seed in that one. Comes in as a 5 seed here. Looking to convert the 10 pin. Solid on the spare. So now do you kind of change up your strategy here after Jeremiah Smith put up a double there and you're struggling to get the corners out?
If I'm Brady, I give this one more shot. If I can't get a strike here on the left lane, you'd have to do something drastic. I think maybe do you move way left, because he did throw at least one practice shot way left with reactive. So
and he did throw a few games from there yesterday as well. So.
Yes, absolutely. I think a majority of the day actually he did. He was to my right all day, so I got to see a lot of it. See, there's that early hook, but he. Oh! I thought that was going to go for a second. Almost trips the 3, but yeah, I mean, I think Brady's next move is all going to be dependent on the next 2 frames for Jeremiah. If Jeremiah can get one more here in the 6th frame, I think Brady's got to make a move. He's got to jump left. You know, not to question somebody of his caliber, but you know, you've got to do something drastic, and he's going straight back and looks like he's talking with Chad to see what he thinks and what he sees. So,
Okay, an opportunity here for Smith.
yeah, dude.
Working on a double. This has been his good lane too, so another good shot on 12. And
You don't get many opportunities like this to jump on a guy like Brady, so you need to take advantage.
it's got a chance.
Close.
Take
And,
it.
oh,
It
against
did.
the tomahawk. That's such a big hit
That's
right there.
That's reminiscent of Darren Sini in 2005. I think I had about 13 of those at a tournament in juniors the last time I was actually a good bowler.
Oh. Yeah, give yourself a little credit. Maybe 2012.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I was on the show of this tournament.
Yes, you were. Yeah, take that break right there. See if you can turn it into a 4-bagger and slam the door early on this match.
Yeah, this is... 4-baggers are hard to come by on this pattern right now, but every now and then there were players that could pop off a 260 or 240 just randomly in the building among a bunch of 180s and 190s. And
well, you would know that.
Yep. Yeah, I started the tournament with a 120 and then shot 250.
It's pretty close. And see, yep, and
a lot of those today.
Yep, that's okay though. Right, with the way that the match is going, you take keeping the ball right there and take a shaker 7, get your spare and move on.
As long as you're filling frames, Brady's going to have to double somewhere. He's going to have to throw strikes.
At this point, Brady only has 220 on the board, so he's got to find something very quickly. And said, I think that strike forces Brady's hand to do something different than what he is right now. Careful. All right, good spare.
You know, it's also hard to say, too, because we've been watching Brady all weekend, and he'll have some really good games, and then there's some games where I see him miss a little more than normal, which is uncharacteristic of Brady, so maybe he's not as sharp as he feels most of the time, but he's still in our final 5, even on an off weekend, which speaks volumes in my mind.
Absolutely, and sticking with urethane, so.
Okay, maybe a little trick with his hand, maybe. We'll see what happens here.
Staying in that same zone, maybe just trying to give it a little bit more to.
Yep. I feel like it was a slight kick right with his feet to kind of straighten everything out, tighten it up a little bit to catch more of the head pin.
Possibly. It also, like, at least to me, it seemed like he tried to give that just a little bit extra at the bottom to get it to flip up and hit a little bit harder, and that was really good. See if he can repeat that, because, you know, not that if I'm Jeremiah, I'm too worried right now, but You know,
Oh, it's a big shot here. Big shot for Brady.
Double right here, you know, there's maybe a little bit of doubt.
Yeah, make you think about it. You got to make them think about it. That's what head-to-head match play is all about.
Pressure does weird things to people.
Looks okay if it faces. Yep.
Yep, that one, there you go. So,
and that's why Brady Stearns is Brady Stearns.
Yeah, a little shake of the head of why didn't I try that earlier maybe? Again, we can speculate on what it actually was.
And he's doing motions like it was a hand trick for him, you know. He was probably not, his release probably wasn't as good as he wanted to in those first 6 frames, and then talked with Chad, which is a good guy to talk to when it comes to stuff like this, and figures it out pretty easily.
Yep, so, I mean, you know, if you're Jeremiah, though, you go strike right here, and it's not a done deal, but, you know, you don't need much, you know, mark in the 10th, and then you're good. But let's see what he can do. Oh, that's wide.
Right,
he knows
yeah.
it.
But it recovered enough to give him something makeable.
I'm a little surprised that made it back that far, but...
So again, was that a reaction of the double? Was that a slightly...
Maybe, just, you know, also knowing, hey, you know, I throw a double right here, get a little amped up, overthrow it, and lucky to leave just a 2-8, and this, not an easy spare.
No, especially with how much the mids hook right here, so this will be a big test for the spare game for Smith.
The good news is he can play it pretty much off a strike line being that far right, so you just got to be careful not to get it going left too quick. And careful.
Got it, yep.
All right.
It's a good spare.
Either one of us throw that, and you're barely picking off the 2-pin on the
gone.
left.
I missed it yesterday. Yeah, I hooked past the 2-pin.
I think I did it twice myself. But you know what? You throw a strike on the board right here, and the ball's still in your court. Anything less, and anyone's game.
Yeah, count is pretty close.
It's close with pushes and hits. All right.
10-pin.
I think he's okay with that.
Well, it keeps him in a good spot in the count category, so.
And at this point, we've got a possibility of a tie. With the spare, they both strike out for 226.
I know that's your favorite game.
I mean,
anytime there's a chance at a tie, Ken Fletcher will let all of you know.
well, I mean, we have the tournament champions up here on our TVs around us, so they already had a tie in their step ladder, so why not us have one too? Oh, careful.
Wow.
And
well, I might want to check that ball when it comes back. That one hit the gutter, bounced in front of the 10-pin. So we don't need a score correction, but
that
hopefully the ball is fine. Evidently the flat gutter there was slight imperfection.
They tend to do that. I've seen it more than a couple times in this house. But you know what? Brings Brady right back in the match. He can throw the next 3 strikes and actually shut out Jeremiah.
And what was it Chad Nelson was telling us in the position round? Don't give a guy like Brady second chances.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he's going to show us why.
Said this, I mean, key shot right here. He gets this one. I see him striking in the 10th, but
he's in a good spot now. He found that right shape, the right entry angle with the urethane.
it's all on if he gets the early hook or not. He's getting it to go down lane right now, so we will we'll see what happens. I mean, this, like you said, you don't give guys like Brady a second chance.
Okay, Stearns now up in the 10th, working on a 3-bagger. Has a chance to shut this match out.
Really good.
Be curious to know what the change was. After he talked to Chad, he did a slight little move right, perhaps, and then just made sure he got around it. Maybe a trick with his hand.
It's, yeah, very interesting to, something we can ask if he does run the ladder, but he's strike right here to shut the door. Otherwise, anything less, and Jeremiah still has a chance.
All right, Stearns for the win.
Yep.
Got the 10 out, yep. Good shot for Brady, and he'll be moving on. And Jeremiah's probably kicking himself now. Out of all things, it's a spare that did him in. So Brady Stearns will advance to take on Clayton Moore in our quarterfinal match. Jeremiah Smith will finish in 5th. Still a great weekend for him, and making back-to-back shows in majors. So
yep, absolutely. I mean, take nothing away from what Jeremiah did. He bowled a really good game. Brady was able to throw the string at the end, and that's ultimately what won it for him.
all right, well, Jeremiah Smith will finish this out. Gives us a quick opportunity to remind everyone to stay connected to NDBowling.com and NDBowlTV. Please hit that subscribe button on your YouTube player. Hit the thumbs up button. That does help us quite a bit here at NDBowlTV. We are trying to get up to 2,000 subscribers. Again, thank you to Hammer, the official bowling ball sponsor of NDBowlTV. I do believe the new pink Black Widow urethane and the 3D offset are now available as of Friday, so go on out to your local pro shop and get one of those. Again, I'm Darren Steeney alongside Ken Fletcher calling the action of the 2022 NDBowling.com Classic. We're about to enter the quarterfinal match of Brady Stearns and Clayton Moore. Jeremiah Smith finishing up. Likely disappointed with the way that one ended.
Yeah,
but again, a good weekend.
Very much. I mean, you're going to shoot 215 with the strike, and I think most of us would have expected that to win the game, but shows, like we've said time and time again, shows how good Brady is to make, a little minor adjustment, and all of a sudden you throw a 6-bagger to finish and take advantage of a miss by your opponent.
Again, if you're just joining us, come on into the chat room and we will answer any questions you may have. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If Jeremiah had the spare there, that would have been, 226?
226, well.
Yeah, that would have been a theoretical tie.
Yep, tie if you would have struck in the last ball right there, but yes.
So if you go spare strikeout, it would have been a 226 tie.
Really curious to see what Clayton does.
Right? He's been the one, along with Dale, who have been left kind of giving it the wheel most of the weekend, and it got to the point later on where Clayton was having a hard time getting the ball to shape right to get the corners out. And, Brady Stearns looks like he's sitting pretty good. We'll see if he can find something here in his 4 shots.
As you would expect, Clayton is left to left, so let's see what he's got here. But
I don't think I've seen him throw another ball all weekend. It's been the high road pearl for him.
I saw him try a couple here and there, during fill shots, maybe after an open, but it's, at least today, it's been consistently that. Nothing is really made its way into play for him, but in a one-game match on a show, anything can happen.
Chris Massey, thank you for joining us in the chat room. Hope you're doing well. I appreciate everyone tuning in today here at the 2022 NDBowling.com Classic. This will be our final show of the season. Our next show will be in Alexandria at the Midwest Youth Championships in August. So join us that weekend. I believe it's the second weekend in August. I want to say it's the 13th, 14th, that weekend, something like that.
Yeah, I believe so.
We'll be live on the 14th for the entire day. And that event showcases a lot of talent out of the youth programs. So if you want to see some of the up-and-coming kids who are extremely, extremely talented, tune into that show.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night, I think it was. You know, like I said, the amount of talent that these kids have nowadays is, you know, I think something that like we could only dream of when we were young. You know, the people that were that good when it was our age, they were, you know, bowling in college, Wichita State. You know, the guys you would expect to see winning junior nationals, and
Yep.
you know, now just for a single tournament in Alexandria, Minnesota, we get how many of them?
Yeah, and they all have resumes of going to big colleges to bowl,
Yep.
and we end up seeing them on PWBA tour and PBA tour, and
Yep.
these guys are pretty good. So, and I guess that'll do it for Clayton Moore's practice shots, and we should be underway here. Clayton will get choice of where he would like to start. Okay, and Clayton wants Brady to start, so they're just going to flip the names here quick, and then we'll be underway. And there we go. So Stearns will start us off on lane 11. And I will say, I think Clayton Moore has more appearances in major finals than anyone on our show to this point. He's been in quite a few of them over the years. So
It's, you know, the amount of times he can make it, and you know, even bowl for a title, it's kind of crazy. So good shot from Brady to start.
that's a 7-bagger now for Brady Stearns after making whatever change it was.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's a little bit of a hand trick at the bottom, but sticking with the same ball, it's something to get that urethane ball to face up a little bit better at the pins. Here's our first look at Clayton Moore, who has been playing left all weekend with a high road pearl. He did tell us here right after his practice shots, he said, let's make him hook. And
Well, if anyone can do that, it's this guy
yeah,
right
one of the
here.
highest rev rates on our show today.
I think you can see right there the issue that I think Clayton will run into. It's if he gets his ball to push far enough, it doesn't have enough to get there.
And then if you want to get softer with the speed, it's going to hook early, it's going to read early and go through the nose. It's tough.
I mean, the thing that Clayton has going for him is, you know, he can loft it past a lot of the dirt in the front of the lane. So we'll see what he's got, but you know, not a bad opening shot, but so that could be very telling of how this is going to play out too.
Again, the winner here will take on John Breckel, this season's NDBowling.com Player of the Year. And then the championship match, Dale Newton will go for his first ever NDBowling.com Major Championship. Have all the cuts been right around even this year for the majors? I do believe so.
Right, yeah, you know, in that they're always in that 20 under, 20 over kind of range. But yeah, nothing is straight too far.
Up in Manitoba, it was pretty low. They put out a pretty tough pattern up in Manitoba this year, and they did a 3-shift re-entry thing, and the pattern up there played extremely difficult. So that cut was pretty low. But for the 3 majors stateside here in North Dakota, they were all pretty close to even. because this one was +8. The KFYR was a little minus.
Uh-oh. Yeah, he knew that when he let it go.
Flagged a 2-pin there for Clayton Moore, so an early open.
Yeah,
and at this point, Stearns is in auto drive, so.
Yeah. He throws 2 right here, and you know that he figured out what he needed to. And this could be a quick run over if Clayton's not careful. And that's it would be unfortunate for Clayton because he was first going into position round 2.
But, and the one thing I will note it too is Clayton had a 140 in game number 8 that made that a lot closer than it should have been. So if he shoots 200 game 8 before position round, he has that top spot by 100 going into position round, and it would have been
a different story. I mean, take nothing away from what Dale did, but yeah, does Clayton shoot a 180 in position round to give away the top seed? I don't know, but he would have at least been the number 2 seed. So thank you, Chris Massey, for giving the numbers there.
Yeah, they should all be on NDBowling.com in the recaps.
And I think
Messenger took out the 5.
I think that shot looked like he might have got a little bit right, and that's not good news for anybody. And Chad Nelson being somewhat prophetic right now in giving Brady a second and really third chance almost.
Well, if those of you keeping track at home, that is a casual 9-bagger for Brady Stearns, someone who has had a 36-bagger in his life. So time to bounce back here if you're Clayton Moore.
Yeah, it's been close. It's just
a little softer there, but can't get around the corner.
Same result. I mean, the loft and the projection that he has, it gets it right, but the other problem is I think if he gets it, those couple boards in, it's going through the nose, and we saw that consistently.
This is what made it hard yesterday late in the block, and it was people like Jeremiah Smith who can take that out of play with how they throw the ball, who had success late in the block.
Yep. So, and kind of a tester shot, I think, right there from Clayton.
And you could see that ball set up and gets down towards the end of the lane and just gets lazy. And normally, before the urethane days, that would have read the lane and rolled out,
Yeah.
Where that one, it seemed like it went an extra couple feet. Again, this is where I think John Breckel has a decent advantage, the way he can get the ball to float up the right side and still be using reactive to get the corners out. I don't know how his ball is going to look on 11 and 12, if it's going to hit that early hook or not. But
it'll be very interesting to see in the next match, regardless of who he bowls.
And then Dale Newton is playing likely closer to where Clayton is now. Will he be able to get it to shape the right way in that one?
Yep.
Like we were saying.
That's the issue that you're running into right now. Careful, and I think this is, you could almost say, a classic case of Clayton getting in his own head right now.
Yeah, it tells a story right there. His reaction tells everything. It's frustrating because you had to look all day, and then you get here and you have the over-under reaction. And
I mean, for those who have bowled with Clayton, it's something that he does, and he's also incredibly capable of kicking himself out of it and throwing the last 8 strikes, but careful. Well,
See, that's the thing with Clayton. I think Clayton's one of the best day 2 bowlers that I've seen since, bowling these things. He's always there. He's always close to the top.
Yep,
And
for sure.
and I don't know if it's just finding a good reaction or something on the shows, because I think he's made the final of probably 8 or 9 of these, and I think he's got just the one shootout.
Yeah,
As far as I can remember, as the only win. So,
it's in a longer format. It suits somebody like Clayton because he can run really hot and cold. And in a one-game match, if you can't find a reaction, it's so difficult.
And there is a question in the chat room of Clayton throwing a high road pearl. He is no longer on the Motive staff. I know he's wearing a Motive shirt. It's probably just because that's all he's got. But I do believe last season he let that go. So he's been throwing kind of a mix of everything as far as I've been watching him the last season or two.
But, not going unnoticed is Brady's open right there. And
yeah, shaker 7.
Brings a little shade of doubt, those 2 shots right there. So, see what transpires. I said Clayton's capable of kicking himself out of this and, shooting 230 to finish this game off, but he's going to have to find something very quickly. And what that is, I don't even know, and I don't know if he knows.
I feel like Clayton's at this point with the same ball, he's again, hand tricks, speed tricks, anything that he knows to try to get that ball to funnel towards the pocket. And you got to believe he's trying different things every single time. It's just what the lane's giving him is making it very difficult.
Yeah, and when, the old saying, bowling in a phone booth, that
we've been there. Both of us have been there.
It's not a fun place to be, and that seems like where he's at right now, because,
see, and that one got to that point where it was going to set up and go, and it just skates another 2 feet, coming in behind the head pin, and that's what you leave.
And he immediately walks over to the practice pair to go grab
the blue ball.
Yeah.
The blue ball that should make its way to, not the blue ball, but the blue ball we're talking about is the shootout ball that he won. I don't know what Motive ball that is, but
it's the only other ball that I've seen him throw this weekend. And, like I said, at this point he's got to try something, so careful. And there's what you run into.
Yep.
And I think he's trying to get something to start up a little bit earlier rather than push down the lane so far, but then you get that ball in and it has 0 chance.
Yeah, it's that 35 to 40 foot range where the ball starts to read and then it gets to the end of the pattern and skates an additional 2 or 3 feet, comes in behind the head pin, or else if you do get it reading early and it starts to go, then you're going through the nose.
Yep. So see, at this point it's not, what does he have to lose? So
absolutely, you got to try everything. See,
and
just never saw the lane. And let's make no mistake, this guy was leading for a majority of the day, but once you get that urethane head oil carried all the way down to the break point, it gets really hard to find the proper shape from left.
Yeah, and unfortunate he's now taking both of those balls, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see a spare ball at the head pin the rest of the way, which I believe he does throw a
he has a tank, a tank for a spare ball. That's probably what's going to be going down the lane the rest of this game.
Well, no, he's taking something else out of the bag, which I don't have any idea what that is, but we'll see. And as we watch Brady just shred racks.
Yeah, ho-hum match for Brady Stearns.
Yeah, like you said, Brady's kind of an autopilot. I think the the fourth frame kind of jumped up and maybe just didn't make a little incremental move, but
Yeah, and one thing I will say that I love about Brady's game is everything is always the same. The pre-shot routine's the same. Everything's the same. He stays within himself the entire time. Something I've always admired about his game.
yep.
And you see it here. We saw it at the K-Fire.
Yeah, you can't undersell the value of a consistent pre-shot routine and just a consistent routine in general and when you're bowling, especially a tournament like this. Just it gets you that same feel every shot. And, I mean, it just makes everything easier in the long, in the end, game to game. So...
So this makes me wonder, how is it going to be from left for Dale Newton? Because I can't imagine he's going to be looking for something from the right because he's been playing left all weekend. I saw him throwing an altered reality down here in the practice pair, 2 pairs to our right.
And, I mean, Dale's been back here right behind the pair, multiple times checking it out. So, yeah. Very curious to see what he does because, Clayton has been in the same general area where Dale has been, and that's obviously not the best look in the world right now. So,
And I will mention that Dale's back here talking with Strike Zone proprietor Brad Peterson. They have a good tournament out in Williston next weekend. Actually, 2 tournaments, a trios tournament and a singles tournament, which both of those posters are on NDBowling.com. So if you want to find a tournament to bowl next weekend, head on out to Williston and check out those. Again, all the details are on the upcoming events tab on NDBowling.com.
yeah. Yeah, and you can see, again, the issues that Clayton has, just, especially not being familiar with
Maybe.
playing that far right. You just, you don't know what you're getting.
Well, if he's not careful, he's going to take me out for low game of the weekend because I had a 126 to start yesterday. So,
well, don't speak too soon because who knows?
but again, this takes nothing away from Clayton Moore. He was leading this tournament for most of the day. It's just the way the lanes transition for those playing left, especially this pair. It just got ugly. Again, I do believe we're going to see John Breckel playing right. He's over here on our practice pair to the right. Currently throwing, is that a lock? Sherlock? That's one of his favorite pieces he throws.
Yeah, you see John throw that just about everywhere he goes. That, and along with the Idol, he threw a lot of today. But, back to our match. Brady with, ho-hum 10-pin, and he's
moving on. This is already over.
It's already locked up. I mean, we're 8 frames in, and you don't see that every day.
Okay, so I did see Dale throw that shot there on 15, and it's almost like he's standing in the area of 30, and he's getting his... Dale he was throwing a shot to where that reactive ball he's throwing was getting out to about 7 to 5 somewhere, and it actually looked pretty good. So we'll see maybe if everything with reactive parallels right, maybe it's a better look. Because Dale does have that natural push through the front part of the lane that's been helping him all day. So. Yep,
and I mean he's got the hand where he can get it to come back, but in is just it's really dicey right now. So we'll see, but.
And big thank you to Jeffrey in the chat room, advertising for us. Please hit that like button, and more importantly, hit that subscribe button. We would like to see everyone watching subscribe. I do believe the stats show that about 30% of the people watching our streams are currently subscribed, so there's a lot of subscribe buttons that could be hit out there.
There's a good shot from Clayton, and came back to us just a minute ago, and don't worry, I'm going to get 100. And there, that clinched that at least.
Yes, there is no Tom Doherty in the house today. He did pass 100. Next question is he going to beat my 126?
Well, what is he, 9 pins right here in 2 balls? I think he's got that.
Yeah, for those of you just joining in, after game 1 yesterday, I was in dead last. Game 2 yesterday, I had the highest game in the house by 20 pins. Not many people can say that. I have some really strange claim to fame moments in my life.
And, I mean, like we've talked about all day, you know, with Clayton leading most of the day, like, it can happen to anyone. You find a bad pair, you find a bad ball reaction, all of a sudden you can shoot, you know, maybe a 140, 150 here for Clayton, or, you know, 120 in your case. But there were also big games out there. I mean, you know, 298 from Jeremiah. Brian Deedy had 280 yesterday.
And again, Stearns will take on John Breckel in our semifinal match. Currently, Clayton and Brady are having a little conversation, maybe about something Clayton wants to try, maybe learning a little something off the urethane play. I feel like that's what he's throwing. I can't quite tell what ball that is, but
I have no idea where to even guess. It's purple, so that would. Yep, there's the breaks that you get when it doesn't matter too. But yeah, maybe Brady giving him a little insight into what he did and what he sees.
If there was ever a time to have a mic up by the scoring, I wonder what the conversation is like there. Maybe if we can expand NDBowling.com. But if we are to do that, we need your help. If you would like to support NDBowling.com, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I do believe there is a super chat button on our chat room too. So if you feel so inclined to support NDBowling.com, please do so there. Again, Brady Stearns will move on to the semifinal match against John Breckel, who is this year's NDBowling.com Player of the Year. And what a way to cap that off for John.
Clayton making fun of himself, saying that wasn't even his low game for the day.
And I would like to say, one of my good friends in the chat room, Chris Carrico, just now subscribed. Of all these years, we're going on year 10, Chris. And you're just now subscribing to NDBowling.com.
Shame, shame.
I will say Chris actually had a chance to make the cut yesterday. He had front 6 or 7, something like that, the last game.
Front 7 on, should say the same pair that Jeremiah shot 298 on. So
yeah, and ended up missing cut by 20, 30 pins, something like that. So a good comeback for him. And a victory lap here for Brady Stearns, moving on to the semifinal match.
Starting to get that little bit of more push down the lane, though, than he was towards the beginning of this game. So it's something to keep an eye on.
And one thing to note, next season, we will be celebrating 10 years here at NDBowling.com. And we are trying to think of some good things to do next season for the 10th year. And once we know all of those details, we will put those on our Facebook page, write articles on NDBowling.com. So stay tuned for some improvements and some exciting things ahead for NDBowling.com and NDBowlTV. Can't believe it's already been 10 years.
We talked about that all weekend, and don't know where the time has gone. It just seems like yesterday, you know, you were driving up to Grand Forks for you to bowl the second day at the time the WDAZ Classic, and 10 years later, here we are.
Right, and that was the last year that the local ABC station did the finals for this tournament, and then you know, NDBowling.com kind of took it over because NDBowling.com started late in 2012, and then it's been this way ever since. So thank you for everyone who's been following along for the past now 9 years, working on 10. Have a video of the top 10 NDBowlTV moments. That is a good idea.
Yeah.
And if Andy Mills and Caleb Pashina are out there watching right now, they would probably be towards the top. The finals about 4 years ago was one of the more exciting finishes we've had on NDBowlTV.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's been some great final matches. We've had a 300.
Oh, yeah, we've had a 300 by Scott Endersby
yep.
very early on in the NDBowlTV days. I will say a match here again, the final of Andy Mills and Eric Parvey went to about 240, 250 apiece in that final. They went toe-to-toe, a lot of strikes.
Think one guy's got it and something happens. Think the other guy's got it. Yeah. A lot to choose from.
Yeah, we didn't have a scoreboard. We actually started with a laptop and handheld mics is when we first started this back in 2012, early 2013. And since then, it's kind of grown to what we have here, and the scoreboards and everything help, and graphics help. And again, appreciate everyone that has tuned in. That's why we keep going with this thing. Please hit the like button, and more importantly, subscribe to our channel. Yeah, once again, I'm Darren Sini alongside Ken Fletcher, calling the action here at the 2022 NDBowling.com Classic. We are about to head into the semifinal match against Brady Stearns and John Breckel.
And just watching a couple of those practice shots, I'm not sure John's too thrilled. The issues of urethane coming into play again, it appears. John's been able to play right, stay, in that, range of about 12 board out to about 6-7, and I'm not sure that's there right now. But John's here because he's bowled incredibly well. Him along with Clayton Moore have been towards the top the entire day, so we'll see what he's got. But going to be tough to derail the train that is Brady Stearns right now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He, like we've said several times, he's an auto drive right now. Here's our first look at John Breckel, capping off a really good season here within all of the NDBowling.com tournaments. Guaranteed a top 3 finish in the final major. You can't beat that. First shot there, a little left, and
and right there is where he's been playing all day, all weekend. I bowled next to John all weekend, and yesterday that hooks up goes flush. Earlier today, that hooked up and
with
went
a
dead
more
flush.
aggressive piece. Yep, he would even be paralleled a little bit right of that, and then just kind of parallels left with weaker equipment as the day goes on, and that's what was working for him.
Yeah, but said now with the amount of urethane that's gone down the lane, it's he's getting it through the front. At least that one he got through the front okay, but it doesn't have enough to get there, and it's got to be a little concerning if you're him.
And now it makes you think back to the missed 10-pin by Jeremiah Smith, and it changes the complexion of this entire show.
100%.
We talk about strikes and stringing strikes and all that, but a single pin spare is essentially the difference in all these matches at the moment. Yeah, and that ball just never sees the lane for John, and again, if he were to pick out a ball that has a little more surface, a little more aggressive core to it, it's just going to find the lane too early and go nose. It's hard to get the ball to funnel to the right spot down lane when there's urethane going down the lane. Yeah,
and you say, well, why not move your feet a little bit right and try and maybe point it a little bit more? And okay, sure, you could do that, but is that ball going to have enough power to kick anything out?
Right.
Then you're running into that weak 10 area or the.
And I feel like a lot of people did that. They would try to get to a spot where they still had the pocket, but then it was, okay, swisher 7,
flat
10, and then you finally get the ball to shape right, 9-pin 4-9 combination.
Yep.
And then you give it a little bit at the bottom, and all of a sudden you have a 2-10 combination somehow. And it's just, you constantly fight the lane.
Yep, it can be a vicious cycle, and that's what all these guys are running into right now, unfortunately.
Okay, Stearns up, frame 2. A little left, goes nose, Greek Church.
I feel like he popped out of that one.
Right.
You could tell right away he kind of, like, when he let it go, Brady holds his finish as well as anybody. And you could see him kind of, like, stand up, and he knew that.
And probably caused him to yank it a little left, and then, with the rotation he's got at the bottom, it just sees the lane too quick.
Yeah, so, I mean, John going 9 spare, I mean,
if he can find a double somehow, you never know.
Yep.
Okay, get the count. Again, the count on the strike. People need to think about that. The count on the strike in that particular instance is pretty big.
Yep.
I was bowling with Brady the first game yesterday, and he split. And I think he only got 1 off of a possible 3 count, and he was kicking himself the whole way back off the approach. And he knows how important every pin is. And
oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, now, yesterday in the qualifying, is Brady going to be super concerned about 1 pin? Probably not, because he knows he's going to be there in the end anyways.
Guys like me who are always the alternate.
Oh, boy.
And, okay.
See, again, I'm like, he lets go of it fine, and then he pops up like he knew he did something.
Yep.
And
yeah, you clearly know when Brady likes a shot off his hand. Just the way, like you said, he pops off the shot, or else he holds his finish.
Yep, and that one again right there, I mean, I'm sure he feels fortunate. It's just a 10-pin, so.
But that ball got a little wide, and it recovered pretty well. I was kind of surprised.
I would be willing to venture that he is too, but good spare. And
okay, opportunity for John Breckle here. I know he's not too thrilled about the reaction down lane. He's looking here thinking, okay, maybe I can figure something out. He's going to stick with that idol.
Yeah. So he threw the Sherlock as that spare first frame, I believe, and thought maybe, but no, not yet. I think he's, this is going to keep him in play right now, and if he can find a couple good ones in a row, all the better.
Okay, you got around that one a little bit. It faces, but
you'd see it
4-7.
You'd see that one was a little bit tighter, and it just checked up a little bit early, and fortunate to leave that. So.
And now looking over here at 15 and 16 on the practice pair, Brad Peterson and Dale Newton talking strategy about. They've been sitting behind our championship pair the entire show, watching what's going on. So,
and you can, a couple shots I watched at Dale, you can see him trying to play right and seeing if that's anything. And
hook, there he goes. Okay, nice clean game so far for John.
Yep.
Still searching for that first strike, and I think if he does find something, John's about as accurate as anyone out here. So, just trying to find that space.
Yeah, it's bowling in a phone book right now for everyone but Brady, it seems. And as long as you can keep making your spares, I mean, at least you're going to maybe give yourself a chance. And
okay, Breckle, frame 4. That one's left.
Yeah, that was a little bit too left. And take the break.
I always say, if you're going to miss by a lot. That's my MO.
Oh, 100%. I say that all the time. Mine's missed bad, but
yes, for those of us who aren't the Brady Stearns of the world, for those 3 or 4 shots that are less than great every game.
Yes.
If you can get lucky, sure. Okay, Stearns up, frame 4, working on a spare. Last couple shots, a little uncharacteristic. Let's see if he can get back on the strike train. That shot looks better. Ooh, slasher 7.
Tough break, but so you could see him kind of stand up oh, maybe, and looks like maybe that was just a little bit of a move again. And
yeah, move off of the early hook he saw in frame 2.
What looked like pretty good shot and bad break there, but
I will say we have a decent crowd behind us. We do appreciate everyone who came out this weekend to bowl the tournament. And a lot of guys come out to watch. We do appreciate all them, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And
careful.
Oh, boy. The little laugh, he knew.
You don't get many reactions out of Brady Stearns, but when you do.
Yep, yeah, for sure. Both of these guys pretty, I don't want to say stoic, but, like you said, you don't get a lot off of either one. And
mentally, they're both pretty sharp when it comes to their bowling games. I talked to John yesterday, and I think it was one of the games he started out probably spare, open, and then he reels off a four-bagger, and he comes back to me and he says, 4 years ago, that four-bagger wouldn't have happened. And I think he was alluding to his mental game and just staying in the moment, control what you can control. Yeah. And I think that's been the biggest step for John is it's just, you know what, deal with what's in front of you. That's all you can do.
Yeah, for sure. I would bet if you talk to 90% of pros or high-ranking amateur bowlers, mental is as much, if not more, than physical.
Yeah, I would second that.
So, John, can you get one here? Just
can't get it to the pocket in time. Like you try to get around the ball to get the shape, but then you struggle to get the ball to the pocket at the right time.
Yeah, he missed those first couple. Maybe not miss. The first couple didn't hook up, and stay a little bit light, and then you try and maybe tighten it up, and it does that. And you got to do something, and careful.
Okay.
All right, yep. That spare always scares me.
Oh, always. And then add the 3 to it, and it just makes it even better. I'm pretty sure I missed a combination of the 3-6-10, whether it's the 3-10, the 6-10, the 3-6-10. I think I missed about 3 of them yesterday in all different ways. It just...
Yeah, that's pretty common for us, I think.
That's why we're here, and we say that every show.
Yeah. But, we're through 5 frames. John's bowled a clean game. He's still well in it. And,
wow.
There it is again. That's the same shot 2 in a row,
But, again, he's leaving makeable spares. Like, he's fortunate to not be leaving, multi-pin splits and spares. Like, it just, he's making makeable spares, and it's keeping him in it right now.
Absolutely. And, it just... you get the good break in the 4th, but you can't back it up. But, at this point, like I said, he's throwing a clean game, and we'll see what Brady does right here. If that move if it was a move in the 4th frame was the correct one.
John's going to come back here and talk to his contingent of Jeremiah Smith and
Jeff Holdsworth there as well. Yep. He's got to be thinking he's got to do something, and this could be the key shot to the match right here for Brady. Pretty close. Yeah.
Now I do want to bring up a possible storyline here. A win from Brady Stearns will give him 3 separate NDBowling.com major titles, joining him with Eric Parvey and Andy Mills as the only players with 3 separate majors. He is only missing the one in Manitoba.
Which you would think that would be...
Stearns could become the first player to win the North Dakota Triple Crown, all 3 majors stateside. So, something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Now we still have a game and a half to go on that, but another shot right here would be a little big step to it.
A little wide. Will it get the corners? Yep. Big triple there.
See a little bit of a fist bump. I think he got away with that.
Yeah, got away with one in a very big moment, too.
Yeah, 100%. But, you're John, you're sitting here and, you're staring at a 3-bagger, but you're still well in this match. You just need to find something right here in these next few shots.
Yeah, I can't stress enough how tough these lanes are right now. Little move left. Will it tip? Just no chance. It just doesn't see the lane. And that wasn't even that much of a move left. And that, like, we've been talking. I know you and I sound like a broken record right now, talking about what these lanes are doing. But it's true. It's so hard to make thoughtful moves and correct moves when this is what you see.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're John, you got to come up with your best and get this spare. Otherwise, that's not going to do it. Yeah, otherwise, it's.
Yeah, we're in must strike territory now for John Breckel.
Yeah, and like you said, that wasn't much. It was maybe a 2-in-1 move, I bet. And
here comes the ball change. Got to try something. I mean, you're in do or die mode now.
And if I had to guess, he stays right where he just was, and hopefully that does the trick, but we'll see.
I've seen John throw a lot of strikes with this ball.
That actually looked like even a further move left, and I mean, it switched it out, so you take that. I mean, he's got 210 on the board, which very easily could win this match, but these next two frames we'll see what Brady's got if he can still hold that reaction together.
It's pretty good.
Yep, he knew that one.
Again, Brady Stearns is looking to win his second consecutive major. He did not bowl up in Manitoba, but he did win the KFYR TV Bowling Classic about 3 weeks ago out in Mandan, North Dakota, in a win over Randy Peterson. Looking to do it a completely different way here at the Classic, having qualified as the 5 seed. In our first match, he took out Jeremiah Smith and then defeated Clayton Moore in the quarterfinal match. Now looking to shut the door on John Breckel here in the semifinals. And that'll about do it.
Brady just needs a good count in the 10th frame, 9 on the first ball. And
that's assuming John strikes out, too.
If John strikes out, which, again, no discredit to how John has bowled today, but with the way this looks, I think that's not the most likely thing in the world.
Again, a great season for John Breckel. Player of the Year at NDBowling.com. He'll earn roughly around 160 points total throughout the year, which is, I would guess, top 5 that we've ever seen at NDBowling.com as far as points go. Tad Schmidt, good to see you. Hopefully you are doing well.
Always good to see Tad, a former champion here.
Yeah, won here in 16, I believe. Again, thank you for the kind words and checking in on us here at NDBowlTV. John Breckel looking to strike out for 210.
As always, you throw 3 right here and
got a break.
You never know.
You never know. Yeah, we've seen some strange things happen this weekend, and we've seen some strange things happen on this show here at the Classic. And we're talking to you, Andy. We're talking to you.
So we'll
Dale Newton getting ready. He's got a fresh beverage ready to go. He'll be out here with his 2 practice shots on each lane following the completion of this one. Dale Newton will be in our championship match against either John Breckel or Brady Stearns. Breckel's got a strike.
I mean, you take the breaks when you can get them, and I mean, John's laughing right there about that, but it's still not in doubt. It's still not in doubt.
So you're saying there's a chance. That's.
I never want to try and jinx anybody, but
again, this is on you. This is on you.
I take full credit if it does happen, but I mean.
Okay, Ken Fletcher, phone number. Send all your hate mail to Ken Fletcher.
Like I said, you throw 4 in a row right there for 209. And I mean, Brady still needs good count. He did just go 5-3 in the second frame. You do that again, that's a loss.
Strange things have happened, yeah.
So, I mean, I fully expect Brady to go up and, post this shot dead flush. But you just never know.
All right, Brady Stearns for the win.
Oh, that's wide.
Right, that's right. Look out. Is that enough?
No. Oh, he needs 2.
He needs 2. Does he?
Yes, he needs 2.
You're the numbers, man. That's why I hired you.
2 of them is a 210-209 victory.
Wow. 2 for the win. And now think if John would have struck that last ball.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, again.
Okay, and now this ain't easy. Like
No.
Again, just the 2-8 there by itself is not easy.
This, if he only gets 1, that's a loss.
Okay, here we go. I need 2. Ooh.
And, I mean, that was not in doubt until the very end, but wow.
210 to 209 finish. Brady Stearns will advance to take on Dale Newton. Again, the curse of Ken Fletcher almost came through. Right there.
Now,
that's
to be fair, he still did win the match.
Still, the curse of Ken Fletcher is alive and well here at NDBowlTV.
But
in case you guys are wondering who that is, it's this guy. It's right here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to point it this way.
All right, that'll give me a quick opportunity to once again follow us on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. People like Chris Carrico, who have known us for 10 years, just now subscribe. So if he can, you can too. Again, big thank you to the folks at Hammer, the official bowling ball sponsor of NDBowlTV. We've been going with the EBI/Brunswick brands for 10 years now. So we do appreciate what they've done for us. Again, you're watching NDBowlTV, the High Plains Bowling Network. We are now approaching the championship match of the 2022 NDBowling.com Classic here on NDBowlTV. I'm Darren Sini alongside Ken Fletcher, calling our final show of the season, the season's final major, and we're about to give out some hardware to either Dale Newton or Brady Stearns. Let's kind of see what Dale Newton has going on here. His first shot there looked about like everyone else's on this pair.
Yep. I do want to say, John, great weekend. Bowled great today, bowled great yesterday. No shame in finishing third.
Not at all. That was actually a straight move for Dale. I think he
was fiddling with that over in practice pair. I'm pretty sure that him and Brad have been talking about that for quite a while. He's seen how this pair has played out, and
I mean, after watching what Clayton Moore had going on here, you know playing left isn't sustainable.
No, not at all. And he's going to the bag immediately after those 2 shots.
And that's the hard part about being the top seed. You've been sitting back here and you've been watching this for the last hour now, and you've been seeing the same guy run over people with a little hiccup here and there, potentially at the end of the last game. But that guy, he's comfortable. He's on autopilot. He knows what the lanes are giving him, and now you got 4 shots to figure something out and and hopefully have what it takes to beat that.
You know what? It gets talked about at every single tournament, I'm pretty sure. Most guys, I'm pretty sure will say, give me the 1 seed and I'll take my chances.
Absolutely. Yeah, you play for the title every time, and today you're the 1 seed on the show. You're guaranteed $1,000.
Yeah, and I'm sure Dale is more than happy to take his chances right here, but you got to find a reaction and find something quick, and those 3 shots so far, not the most promising, but not at all unexpected. And
again, Dale, as the number 1 seed, will get lane choice here, so I don't know if he likes either option better at the moment.
And, I'm not surprised that he's trying that either.
Left, and you get the same result down lane. It's so hard to find the right shape down lane right now. So curious to see what he chooses, and then we'll be underway with the final.
I'm not sure he.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. He's probably. I think he just said, just leave it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be curious to see what he does, but.
Okay, Brady Stearns will kick off our championship match. Looking to win his second consecutive major, third overall, and third different major, the Triple Crown here in the state of North Dakota. I mean, technically we're bowling in Minnesota, but
close enough. Border city. Yeah.
Again, let us know in the chat room who you think will take the championship match of the NDBowling.com Classic and the $1,800 top prize along with the Glenn Haynes Memorial Trophy. Now, Dale's got urethane. I don't think he's thrown it. He's going to go in blind. Here we go.
Didn't ever catch if he was over in the practice pair, but
yeah, he's pulling out a UC3 here.
I think he also realizes that reactive is not good on this pair right now. So
okay, our first look at Dale Newton.
I think
260 in the position round to get there.
I think this is a smart play to at least try and see if it works or not. And
look at that.
I mean,
what that's a pretty good reaction from there. I like that.
Considering what he had with reactive, I think that's
probably one of the best reactions we've seen out of the competitors to Brady Stearns the whole show.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully he can work off of that. And
okay, on the spare. So a good start. Let's see if he sticks with that. Again, you've got Connor Allen and Brad Peterson back here behind Dale, kind of helping him keep his mind right and helping him make moves. Connor Allen, a great season himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what the final tally is going to be as far as team of the year goes, but I would expect Connor to be in the top 5 when we're done here.
Let's see what Dale's got going on here. Pretty close.
Yeah, unfortunate shaker
break.
4. You don't see those very often.
No.
I saw a lot of those in Aberdeen last week.
No, and especially a guy like a guy with Dale's power and ability. Surprising, but you know what? 2 pretty decent shots to start, and I think something he can build on very easily.
I agree. I bet you he's wishing he would have thrown that in practice.
Maybe so, but again, 9-pin swisher 4. I mean,
yeah, 9 spare when you pull out a ball for the first time.
Yeah, that's fine. And I mean, he's coming back here, and I think he seems at least happy with that. So just got to fine tune it now and just hope that Brady doesn't run and hide this match.
Which is also a distinct possibility.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Again, following this match, we'll get a word with the winner. We'll present some hardware, and then we'll be on our way. Finals here of the Classic 2022 edition. Stearns up in the second. That one never saw the lane early enough, so flat 10.
And gotta be a little bit happy if you're Dale to see that right away. You don't want to see a quick double thrown at you
Absolutely.
when you're maybe a little unsure, but
I think a lot of people out there, when you're in a stepladder finals, and Dale's a great bowler, but we've seen him at the shootout on the show once,
yep.
And now he's made this show here, so not as many shows as Brady's got under his belt. So when you're, especially as a top seed too, coming in after watching Brady run the ladder so far, you kind of want to see 9 count here, 9 count there, not a string of strikes, because then you start pressing, then you start doing different things.
And I mean, Dale's got the kind of game where he gets going, he really gets going. I mean, it's at 260 in position round. He had 240, 260 earlier in the day, 230. I mean, Dale can throw the strikes when he gets going. So to see Brady not get out to the early start's got to be encouraging, and we'll
That's
see what
wide.
happens.
Wide, but it
but that
hooked
picked up really nice. And the one that Dale threw on the right lane looked like he got it wide, and it charged back. And the one on the left lane looked like it was maybe a little bit further left, and it just kind of sat there.
Yeah,
so
a little lazy. That's the advantage with urethane. That's why a lot of people throw it.
So just hopefully see what he's got here. You know, throw a couple good shots and at least, you know, get yourself something good going for this game. It's like a left move.
Okay, little shaker out, swisher strike.
Yeah, that looked like it was a solid 3-4 boards left. From
Yeah,
where
that was a move left. You're right.
And you know, maybe it's I mean, I don't think there's a huge discrepancy in power between Dale and Brady, but you know, I'd give that advantage to Dale, and maybe a little gamesmanship too, trying to stay a little left to Brady. Who knows?
Well, big shot here nonetheless to put up a double by frame 4 with a ball you never threw in practice. Good opportunity here for Newton. Looks okay.
Close for picks.
Touch it. There it is. A big double for Dale Newton.
And I think he knows if he stays soft right there that he's going to get it back if he throws it right.
Again, that's where the rev rate with the urethane is such an advantage.
Huge advantage. And, I mean, both of these guys have it, let's be honest. But Dale's just got the little extra pop where, you know, Brady rolls it as well as anybody. But we've seen it a few times already. Second frame, for example, just a little bit lazy, and I feel like Dale's not going to get those lazy hits as much. So we'll see, but, you know, Brady's here because he's as good as anybody.
Absolutely. Stearns frame 4. Left.
Careful.
Another Greek church on lane 12.
Early check, and I think he's surprised at that. Yeah, you can see the wow right there.
First little bit of adversity here for Brady Stearns on our show. He's been kind of like we've said in auto drive now. You got someone now joining with the urethane. Puts up an early double.
Yeah, I mean, since the first game against Jeremiah, he, you know, he had that iffy start, finished strong, and
made the little bit of move. That move he made late in the game.
Autopilot since. Oh, he's going to get.
Good count on the strike, if anything. Keeps the count in play.
And that close.
Yeah.
To what would have been another first, I believe.
Yeah, we have not seen that picked up yet. Again, quick shout out to everyone who's joined us in the chat room. We do appreciate you keeping us company today. Stearns up frame 5 now. Trying to bounce back from that. Greek Church on 12. Shaker out, did get the 7.
Just maybe a little lazy going down lane, but had the power to get them all.
All right, big opportunity here for Dale Newton.
Yeah, these next 2 shots could be the 2 biggest of his weekend.
I honestly think I think he puts this one in a good spot. It's just going to come down to carry. Yeah. He's in that swisher zone. It brings a 7 into play. Light hits, leaving a 2 combination, but it's all about carry, I think, for Dale Newton.
It's a little left, maybe.
Oh, it hooked up, and it got a break. If there's ever a chance for a break, how about for a 3-bagger? Don't pull it inside, he said. Ain't that the truth? Kevin Cummings, thank you for joining us in the show. We do appreciate you tuning in.
See Kevin watching.
Again, a huge shout out to Sunset Lanes. You know, Mike Emerson, Lonnie Thielbar, Darren Sundstrom, and the whole staff here has been great this weekend and hosting another good tournament. You know, we don't say it enough, but everything ran pretty well. Yesterday's qualifying was good, and big props to them.
Outside of more than a few deadwoods.
Oh, yeah.
I no hiccups whatsoever that I saw. Great scoring system and everything worked real smooth. And see what Dale can do. That's pretty close.
Four-bagger. Big shot there for Dale. And then, like you said, if anyone gets lined up, I'll take Dale Newton. It's much like taking Wade Scott when he gets lined up. There's certain people that when they have it, they have it.
And just the way that pins fall for people, too. Like, Dale can do a lot of different things with the bowling ball. Like, you don't realize it. You want him to slow hook it, he can do that. You want him to fire it, you saw it in practice, he can do that.
I think you asked me a question earlier today. Who would you take, Country or Dale playing right? And I said Dale all day long.
You absolutely did. And
but Dale's out in Williston. I see him bowl a lot more than you do.
True. And that looked like a move for Brady, and
good shot.
That was almost a must-have right there. So
fresh off of a Greek church there. That was a good bounce-back shot. Now, I will say I didn't expect this for the final as the way the other matches were going as far as score goes. So,
no, I would have expected something maybe similar to this, but flip-flopped who's doing it. With how Brady is bowled today?
I've got questions for both of them. So when it comes time for the interview, I'm ready to go. It's whoever comes out on top here.
Yeah, and for Brady, this is the shot of the weekend right here. You get this, you're still in the match.
And yes, Matt, that was a UC3 for Dale. That one, he doesn't like it. Yeah, and he knew it.
It's unfortunate because it was that close. And
that was one of those shots, and I think 90% of the bowlers probably watching this show too would understand is off your hand. It's going to flat 10. It's just not going to drive through the pins like you want it to, and that's exactly what happened there for Brady.
Yeah, you just hope maybe you get a lucky kick, 6-pin bouncing out, something, but it hasn't happened on those hits so far in this stepladder match.
Okay, picks up the spare. All right, Dale Newton up in the 7th frame, working on a 4-bagger.
Yeah, if those last two are the biggest shots, you can make it incredibly difficult if you can throw one shot right here for Brady to have any chance. A strike right here, and Dale just needs to take clean the last three. So let's see what he can do.
Okay, Newton, frame 7. Push.
Left again.
That's a hard spare on this. Maybe a little bit of nerves coming in. He took a big deep breath after that one.
Dale is his approach is deliberate, I would say, to say the least. But something like that also leaves things like this to happen too.
I would not want to throw at this right now. Like the way the lanes are, like this is a tough spare.
True, but Dale has the firepower to get it down the lane, and I think he's
still throwing the urethane.
He's just going straight and hard down the gutter, and
nice pick.
That was
he threw that hard.
That was a well done spare.
That's where the advantage of being a big guy like Dale. That helps.
So he can get the ball down the lane as quick as anyone if he wants to.
That was a good move. He stayed way right with the urethane and just hammered it down the lane. Because normally, I would just go left and try to push through the burn down lane, but
it would be so easy to just hang it right and not get enough to get out the 9, and that was
or grab it just a little and it hooks.
Yep.
It would hook left of the head pin.
Absolutely. So really good spare to stay in control of this match, but throw a strike on the board right here, and you can
30-pin lead, both working on a spare, frame 8.
Is he gonna hook?
He likes it. 7-pin.
That's okay.
Swisher 7.
Not to look too far ahead, but looking at the count, that leaves him one behind, but still well in control of the match. But
which goes back to the count pickup on that Greek church for Brady Stearns.
100%.
you get one there, and Brady Stearns is looking at, what, a 3 in the count column?
Yeah, I mean, you get, well, one less is he's dead even then in the count. Well, one behind in count.
Yeah,
with
because
Dale,
off the strike, yeah, 1 is 2.
So just get your spare right here for Dale, and
Good spare.
well done. And
Would have been the 7-10.
This pair, especially lane 11, has always been super bouncy.
I can't quite remember. I picked up the 7-10 here in Youth City back in my days when I was here for college, and it was one of these two pairs, 11 and 12 or 13 and 14, and I haven't done it since.
It's funny how that works. Back when we were younger, we could pick up everything.
I try to throw it that hard now, and I'll be in a hospital.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
If you're Brady, I mean, you've thrown some pretty decent shots, but you need to throw your 2 best right here and to have any chance.
Okay, Stearns frame 8, working on a spare. Looks
Likes
left.
it.
Ooh,
Yep.
I'm surprised he got the 10 out. It seemed like it was coming in behind the head pin just a hair. But snap the 10 off.
I mean, again, we've talked about it all day. You could see how Brady just kind of stayed with that shot, posted and just kind of held it. And
So-
that's when you know that it's good. Like, off his hand, he likes it.
So this has got to be must strike territory. You need to double here.
If he doesn't strike,
That's
Dale
2-0
needs-
max.
Yep, 2-0
just-
max, and Dale needs 1 mark and 2 frames. So
There you go.
I said
Must strike for Brady Stearns.
you need your best shot right here. Now, the good news is he's struck every time, but the last frame on this lane, this game. So
Yeah.
let's see what he's got.
3 for 4 so far on this lane.
Holds it again, and
Oh, wrap
Wraps
10.
Wow.
That was such a good shot in the moment.
yeah, and you could see it in his face right there, turning around. He knows it.
Okay, so the situation is crystal clear for Dale Newton.
A spare for Brady, and you need 1 mark and 2 frames. Assuming
That's
you don't.
not easy.
No, it is not easy, and that is also assuming you get decent count going along with them. But
You know, and again, this is you can say 1 mark and 2 frames. Oh, that's easy. But when it's for a title, it's for $1,800. It's
Yep.
for a major. It's for the Glenn Haynes Memorial Trophy. It's for so many things.
Yeah, right now you just need to come out. You need to be. What's the right way to put it? You don't want to be aggressive because that can lead to some bad things. But
Big deep breath there for Dale Newton.
yeah, he knows where he's at. I mean, he knows that he's well in control, and he just 1 good shot right here.
And I think RP said it at the K-Fire. He's like, you don't know when these opportunities come up again, and I think Dale's in the same spot
Yep.
for the win.
It's been a tough lane
Left.
for him, though, and it's left again.
There
but
it is.
He knows he got away with it. Again, you can see it kind of in his face, but, I mean,
Maybe
does he
not the
need?
way he wanted to get it done, but I mean, you can't help but laugh. I mean, it's
Connor Adelman over here talking to us about it. And, I mean, Dale will probably be the first to admit he did not throw the greatest shots on lane 12.
well, we're about to ask him.
Yes. But, yeah, what does he need? 6 pins and 2
6,
shots.
Yep, 6 and
So,
2 shots.
I would be willing to bet a lot of money that he's got that. And, yep.
That should
that'll
do it. Dale Newton will win the 2022 NDBowling.com Classic for his first career major. Dale out of Williston is your champion. He will take home an $1,800 top prize in the Glenn Haynes Memorial Trophy. And big congrats to Brady Stearns on another great weekend. We seem to say his name quite a bit, but he'll take home a $1,000 second place prize.
Yeah, it's. I think it's more of a surprise if we don't see Brady on our shows anymore.
I would agree with that.
He's a phenomenal bowler. You can't say enough good things about, how good he is, how his demeanor, just, how he is with anybody. Somebody like me who has no business being in the same building as Brady when it comes to bowling, and nicest guy in the world to talk to.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations to Brady. Great weekend. We're going to get a word with Dale momentarily. We'll be giving away some hardware.
So they still got a 10th frame to finish up yet.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know, so all the kudos in the world to Brady for bowling this weekend. And, you know, like Chad said, you don't want to give him a second chance, but, you know, if you're Dale, you just shot 230 at arguably the best bowler in the building, and it's going to be tough to beat for anyone. I don't care who
especially
you are.
after watching guys struggle to find anything with reactive and then watch Brady just mow over people with urethane.
Yep.
And to make the choice, frame one, to go to a ball you never threw in those practice shots and to get the job done. I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, he did get a couple breaks in there with the Brooklyn shots at very good times, but he threw a lot of really good shots that game too.
He did. You know, it takes guts to make a move like that, and, you know, all the credit in the world goes to Dale for performance in that match.
It's going to be a fun drive back to Williston for those guys, I can tell you that.
Yeah, you know it will be.
And again, if you want to come out and bowl next weekend in Williston, there's a couple good tournaments. Check out NDBowling.com for that. Brady Stearns finishes out 207, 233. Dale is your winner. Congratulations once again to Brady on a second place finish, a $1,000 prize. Dale Newton's your winner, $1,800. And let's get a word with him. All right, and Dale, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, and welcoming into the booth is our champion, Dale Newton. Dale, how does it feel?
Good. It's something different.
Yeah, right? So that during practice, you were watching all the games ahead of you, and it was pretty crazy. And people couldn't figure out anything with reactive.
Nope.
And even in your 4 shots, you didn't throw urethane, and then all of a sudden you grabbed the UC3 and first shot, like, take us through the...
Yeah, what was the thought process, I guess?
Well, if you can't beat them, you got to join them. So
I agree.
I had to get something to stand up a little sooner because all my other stuff was going down the lane too far and didn't react at all. So
very nice. So yesterday, where did you qualify yesterday?
16th.
So just barely got in.
Barely
We took the top 18.
Yep.
And then today, I believe you started with, what, a 140 or so?
149.
And then what was the move? Yeah, like all of a sudden, you were popping off 260s and 240s, and then the 260 there in position around to get you to the top spot. So what change did you make?
I moved left and grabbed that altered reality, rolled forward off the back of the pattern, which rolled better than anything that I had, any reaction I had all day.
Ken, any thoughts?
You know, I mean, we've seen you in how many tournaments, and I think we can all say it's probably a little bit overdue for you to be here. So
it is. I have a lot of back problems, so.
Know that feeling too well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and weren't you in the hospital not that long ago? Was it like a collapsed lung or something like that?
A couple years ago, yeah. And then just struggling to get back. It's nice to be in this position again.
Right, yep.
So hopefully I can continue on for a little bit.
Absolutely. And are we going to see you in Williston next weekend?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, let's give away some hardware, shall we? And here it is, the Glenn Haynes Memorial Trophy going to the winner. Congratulations, Dale.
Thank you, buddy.
There you go, the Glenn Haynes Memorial Trophy. Winner of the Classic. And we'll get a picture with you out there once we're done. So stick around. And again, congratulations, $1,800. And
I appreciate it.
Hopefully we'll see you again.
It's nice to see you doing all this. It's a lot of work. And
thank you. I appreciate that.
It's nice to see you out here doing this. Everybody else likes it, too, to watch this kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Go subscribe. All right. Thanks, Dale.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Congratulations. All right, Ken, that'll do it for us. What do you think?
You know, we talked about it all during the step ladder, and, you know, even during position round when they were finishing up. one of the most volatile position rounds. You didn't know what was going to happen, and really outside of one match, I think it kind of held true to that. It was, I don't think any of us quite expected that, to finish like that. But
and just like Dale said, it's if you can't beat them, join them. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where the game is going these days. And if you don't have that tool in your bag, you're going to struggle on conditions like this just based
Yep.
off the way the lane transitions throughout time. And there's not that you're just going to have that tool in your bag. And Dale showed it. He just picked up the ball and said that's what you have to do. That's the only way to keep the ball on the right side at the time. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, it worked to perfection for Dale, and shout out to Dale. Like I said, a little bit overdue for him, I think. So great to see him back doing well, and great tournament for him. Great tournament for everybody around here.
yeah, absolutely. So congratulations to Dale. The first NDBowling.com major title for him. Again, big thank you to the staff here at Sunset Lanes for running everything. There goes Slots. Lonnie Thielbar, the runner of the Pro Shop, does a lot of the machine work, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
right?
kind of the unsung hero. The guy that everybody knows, but you don't really see, or because he likes to kind of stay behind and stay out of the way, and said. Shout out to everybody at staff here. They do a great job. Everything ran so smooth,
Yep.
Never a hiccup.
So that'll do it for Ken and I here at the NDBowling.com Classic. Our last show of the year. You can find us again in August at the Midwest Youth Championships in Alexandria. On August 14th, I believe, we'll be live that whole day looking at some of the best youth bowlers in the region, so join us then. Once again, please hit that subscribe button. Please follow us on Twitter, like our Facebook page. You'll find a lot of updates there, including the tournament recap on Tuesday. Again, quick thank you to Hammer for another season of sponsoring NDBowlTV as the official bowling ball. Again, you're watching NDBowlTV, the High Plains Bowling Network, saying good night from Moorhead.